Hello and good evening, because it's 20 after 10. I got so caught up this morning and this afternoon with running my errands, getting dinner cooked or dinners cooked for the week, and cleaning and doing laundry and stuff that I just got sidetracked all day. And then by the time I remembered that I was supposed to do a video for the day, it's 10 o'clock at night, so yeah. Anyway, it was a good day. It was a good day. I had a lot of energy this morning, and during the day felt a lot better than I have in a while. I feel like the libido's coming back, and the body seems to be responding good to going off the Clomid, so that's been really good. Let's see here. Really not that much to report. Like I said, the energy levels have been good. My drug quitting has been fine. I had a couple of beers tonight, watching a movie after dinner. We watched Dusk Till Dawn. If any one of you haven't seen that, I can highly recommend it. It's ridiculous. It's highly ridiculous, but it's good. It's a dirty Robert Rodriguez movie. With the weather being kind of shit, on days when it's not sunny out or when we're not busy, I've found myself thinking about games again. This morning I woke up and it was raining when I woke up, and I remember waking up thinking how nice it would be to play a game and while the day away. You know, when it's rainy out, it's like, oh, it's a perfect opportunity to stay inside and do nothing. Or, you know. And to be fair, I did pretty much that all day. I did my things that were required, but I did watch a fair amount of movies and shows today. But yeah, we're up to day like 82, I think. I think tomorrow's day 83, so it's going to be next Monday, not this Monday coming, but next Monday. It'll be Monday the 17th. Will be 90 days. Nothing crazy planned for that Monday. Nothing crazy planned for that weekend even, really. The only other thing I wrote in my journal really was about, I'm going to swap books that I'm reading at the moment. I've been reading Booker T. Washington's book, Up From Slavery, and at the end of the copy that I have, there's a bunch of the speeches that he gave at the Tuskegee Institute to the students that were there, and I've gotten some good value out of those speeches. A lot of the stuff that he talks about is still relevant today. I think it really should be required reading. I think the book itself should be required reading for everybody, regardless of what race you are, because he preached a notion that I feel has been pushed out of learning, and it's a notion that I think should be a common sense notion for people, and that is personal responsibility. I've talked about that a lot in the vlogs that I've done, and I know conversations with my friends we tend to end up talking about personal responsibility a lot, but he talks about it being, in the position that he was in, talking about that for black people of the past. He talked about the need for black people in that time to hold themselves accountable for their actions, and to take personal responsibility for their education and the way that they interacted with the world. And his mantra, essentially, his philosophy was if you educate yourself or you get a job, do it to the best of your ability, and don't be a piece of shit, and work hard, and be a good citizen, and the world will appreciate you. It doesn't really matter what your skin is. And I think that's a lesson for everyone, regardless of what skin color you are. I think that's a lesson for everyone. But I think I've come to the end of my interest in that book. I've taken highlights and notes from it, and I've written things down in my journal from it, and I've learned a lot from reading the book. And so now it's on to How to Be a Conservative by the English conservative philosopher Roger Scruton. I'm excited, actually. I'm excited to read it as someone who tends to lean a little more to the right. It's a friend of mine posed a question to me recently, which was, what are conservatives trying to conserve? And I feel like maybe he's heard that question before on maybe podcasts or the media that he consumes. This is my more left-leaning friend. And I think it's a good question. I think it's a question that the leftists probably, some people on the left probably ask themselves or other people that they know who think more liberally. What is it that the conservatives are trying to conserve? And when he asked me that question, we were talking about it in the abstract. He wasn't asking me directly, but I took it on as if he asked me directly in the back of my mind, and I've been thinking about it a lot over the last sort of week and a half, and I've determined that it would be a good thing for me to do, a good philosophical exercise, to think of the things that it is that I would want to conserve, and maybe start to write them down and talk about them in these videos so that I can get a better sense of that, because I think the next time he and I have that conversation, it would be good to talk about the things that I would like to see conserved, because I've noticed that there are definitely things that we don't need to conserve. But there are traditions, and there are behaviors, and there are attitudes that we should conserve, I think. And I think one of them, the one I can definitely say right off the top of my head, and that I think I would stick to my guns on and die on the hill for every time, is promoting the notion of personal responsibility and trying to push that more into society, to where we replace this blame game that seems to be going on in politics and amongst people with introspection, where people say, okay, well, it's a situation that I didn't have a hand in creating, but what is my part in perpetuating it? What can I do as an individual right now to change my immediate environment toward a better way, toward a better path? And I think that notion is one of those things that we should be looking to conserve. So, yeah. But anyway, this book, I've had it on my want to read list for a long time. It was been recommended by a few people that I follow, and I'm hopeful that it will give me some insight as to the things that we should be looking to conserve, so that when I have that conversation with him again, we can actually talk details rather than talking about it in the abstract and it being sort of a hypothetical question. That conversation could actually happen and maybe change his mind on some things, or at the very least, and this is what tends to come up a lot in conversations that I have with people, is not so much to change their mind, but more make them aware of things that they hadn't considered. Because I hear a lot, I never thought of it like that, and I think this would be one of those conversations. But anyway, that's it for me. It's getting late. I want to get to bed, so I'm going to bug out, and we'll do this again tomorrow morning. Ka kite.